got two great guests in studio with me today. We talk monthly or so with Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake. Bud's got a great guest on today to talk a little bit more about the BHO and how it's going with Thurston and Mason Counties. It's Bud Blake and Mark Freedman. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mark. How are you guys doing?
Good morning. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing?
Good to see you. Good to talk with you.
Yeah. Good to see you too. It's always great to be back in Mason County.
Talk to me a little bit about, introduce Mark, who you brought on the air today.
Yeah, sure. As we've been talking, you and I have been talking over the last 2 or 3 years about the behavioral health organization, the Thurston Mason one, in fact. We've come to a point where we need to just kind of highlight how the importance of it is in terms of law enforcement.
Okay.
It's been a great tool in the tool bag as far as law enforcement being involved. It gives them a second chance to be able to take those who've committed a minor infraction, maybe tagging or urinating in public. They don't need to go to the big jail where it costs $100, $110 a night. We set up a triage center. Mason County has a triage center just like Thurston County. I'm going to ask Mark to explain some of how the law enforcement takes place with the mobile crisis team.
Yeah, Mark, for sure.
Well, good morning. There was a very large stakeholder group that got together between the hospital, prosecuting attorney Mike Dorsey, law enforcement, both City of Shelton, Chief Moody, and Sheriff Salisbury, and Commissioner Drexler and a variety of other folks, making a decision that what would better serve individuals who are suffering from a behavioral health disorder, instead of often the police not knowing what to do with them if they commit an infraction. How do we not fill the jail with them, instead provide them treatment?
Sure.
So we have a number of plans, some of which are already in place. We have a mobile outreach team now that the police can contact to go engage the individual rather than the police not knowing what to do or bring them to the hospital, emergency room, or the jail. So we've put that in place. And then we're going to take that another step as we're planning to move that further in terms of even working with folks who commit a drug infraction. And we're now in the process of building a triage facility, which is both a place that's involuntary care, depending on what the individual is like, or just a place for voluntary treatment. Again, the police can bring them directly there. So we're building a number of things here locally in Mason County to serve the Mason County population, in part to not treat them in the jail, but treat them in a much more benign place that's healthy and better for them to recover.
When you heard, or when you added into that the opportunity, the option for the law enforcement officials to call another party to come and assess the situation, they're already taxed at a high stress level coming into these situations, and then to put on top of that, oh, by the way, I'm not quite sure how to handle this situation if it's perhaps a mental portion of this. What have the feedback been with the response on bringing these mobile outreach teams?
Okay. So first, this whole type of project is happening nationwide. There are a lot of places that are diverting.
Okay.
And what it affords the police is, instead of, say, having to drive them out of Mason County to another county for going to a facility or an emergency room, instead they can engage the person. Most likely they know them already, and then call mobile, which will come out to them. So it actually, in the end, saves them a huge amount of time.
Oh, wow.
And then secondly, they don't have to make the decision themselves in terms of what does this person need. The mobile outreach person can. And if, in fact, the individual being engaged is at such a point of disability, we can evaluate them for involuntary. So it actually offloads a lot of work on the police. And then it also doesn't mean they get into a costly system of going to the jail, which is not just the bed night of the cost, but the whole, all the courts, the whole process of moving into law enforcement, into incarceration is really expensive. And so this actually provides the police a positive diversion, which for them, when they use it, we've gotten really good feedback.
We've talked over the years that the old PUD3 building just up the road from us is the location. Is that still where you're thinking about where this is going, and what's the progress on that?
So there are actually a couple of locations, depending on which program. So we have the mobile outreach team has an office actually located over at the transit center, which we have a couple of other programs that have started up there doing outpatient treatment and other levels. Consejo is now there as a new local mental health and drug alcohol provider.
Nice.
The old PUD building will be built as a facility, a treatment facility that for involuntary and voluntary treatment, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that facility, we're standing up at least just the first floor right now, and hope to have completed summer, fall 2018.
Oh, wow. Wow, very nice. We were just walking by there the other day, wondering the progress and how things have been moving along. And you mentioned some of the local leaders here, Sheriff Salisbury, Chief Moody, the
Commissioner
support
Drexler.
from Commissioner Drexler as well. The support here from Mason County continues to be strong, and people are still interested in backing the programs and everything.
Absolutely. We have an ongoing committee of those players and others. The jail manager, folks from the hospital are involved, and some of the treatment providers like Telecare are involved as well, that are monthly attending a meeting where we are discussing this and doing planning. We're even looking at some other things that we can stand up to help provide additional services directly here.
And all the comments on this program, mostly positive, how this has been a good alternative to the just filling the jails, and after folks have had the outreach and the kind of the testing that they need to go through to find out where they are in the help areas, they're been happy with the family members of those folks.
And the treatment that comes along with that after that, once they get into the triage center, such as we do in Thurston County, our triage centers, we're a year ahead in terms of the whole progress. Right. And we treat people right there with a case manager from Telecare, and then that way that person can return to the house or wherever they're going.
Very good. Very nice.
So an example would be when we stand up the triage facility is to measure as an outcome how many people do not go back to jail within some time period. With the mobile outreach, we can report that since I believe it's since May. It's been operating only for a couple months. We've served about 48 individuals, direct referrals from police. That means police handed off somebody to this team to treat rather than bring them over to either the emergency department or to jail.
Wow, wow. That is a big impact on, there's limited beds in facilities, hospitals, and jails. So very nice.
All right. It's a united effort.
Very nice. And good conversations continue on. And also want to mention, before I let you guys out of here, for everybody, Emergency Preparedness Expo tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
September 30th, 10 to 2, Capitol Christian Center, Martin Way. Learn a little bit more. Hazard information, firefighters, police officers, pet care, and more.
You bet.
Very nice to talk with you, Bud. We're going to have to skip a little Alabama football this time.
Right.
I did see, though, they're 4-0, and that's fine. First in the SEC
No
West.
surprise there.
No surprise. Mark Freedman, nice to meet you. Nice to talk with you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thurston
Thank you,
County
Jeff.
Commissioner Bud Blake, good to see you.